If you're thinking about starting a business, if you're thinking about getting into real estate, if you're thinking about doing anything, you need to start with an LLC, a limited liability corporation. It's gonna keep you out of jail, out of trouble. It's a layer of protection that you must have when you invest in real estate. If you do not have an LLC, you're making a foolish mistake and you're really a rookie. Before we get into this next video, make sure that you're aware that we have a contest where you can enter to win up to $20,000. All you got to do is go to the TroyKearnsChannel.com, enter to win, and make sure you text the number below. All right, so what is an LLC? What are the benefits of having an LLC? How do you pay yourself? Let's get into every single detail. But before we do, let's ask you to hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit our notification button, and most importantly, if you've got a question that this video didn't address, make sure that you put it in our comments because we will definitely respond to it. And if it's even a great comment, we may make a video on it. An LLC stands for a limited liability company, corporation, what have you. What does that mean? It basically is a piece of paper that gives you protection versus you being individually responsible for stuff. When you hire a contractor, it might be Joe Smith's Contracting. Well, if they set up an LLC, it could be Joe Smith LLC's Contracting. Essentially, it's a layer of protection from personal responsibility. And on top of that, it offers a huge tax benefit for you as a new investor. What are the benefits of having an LLC? Well, first thing, you can't have anybody come after you personal. Let's say you own a house and it's titled in your personal name. If someone gets hurt on that property, everything that you have, you've just laid it out on the table for them. If you have an LLC and the house is held in an LLC and someone falls and dies, they can only go after that LLC, which is why I would encourage you to title properties, businesses in just one LLC and do not have one LLC own multiple businesses or properties. When I first had my tax audit, because I was audited in 2008, I found out because I didn't have my stuff set up as an LLC, I had to pay 15% more in taxes. So the next year, I set up my company as an LLC. Now my broker pays Troy Kearns Limited for real estate commissions versus Troy Kearns personally. That ended up saving me 15% in taxes, and if anything happens in real estate, I'm not personally liable for it. If you're gonna know about LLCs, you need to definitely get with an accountant so you can understand corporate taxes. It depends on what kind of status you elect. This kind of gets complicated. So you can either elect sole proprietor status, which you don't want because that has no good tax laws, S Corp status, which is like you're a S corporation, which is what I do, or a C corporation, or you can do a general partnership or stuff like that. But for tax purposes, you want to talk to your accountant and you want to ask for either an S Corp or a C Corp, depending on what's going to benefit you most. Just because you have an LLC, that does not mean you do not have complete control. You can have a multi-member LLC, you can have a single member LLC, and you can add layers of other LLCs owning interest in that LLC for further protection. Let me give you a big example. Let's say this house at 123 Elm Street is owned by 123 Elm Street LLC, but the owner of 123 Elm Street LLC is Hogwash LLC. You see what I'm saying? It's harder for them to find you and track you down, and it creates anonymity, tax benefits, and a layer of protection for people who will sue you. One thing that's definitely great to mention, if you go get a loan and you're a sole proprietor, a banker is gonna look like you're a fool. In fact, most real estate investors are gonna look at you like you're a fool because nobody does it the old school way and puts all their personal name on everything anymore because they know that a lawyer is gonna sue them and try to go after them. But if it's held in an LLC, that's all they can go after. It's called an asset protection LLC a lot of times. A lot of times the LLC is just a pass-through for income to go directly to you, and the LLC is is like a force field. So no creditors can get at you, and it protects you from paying higher taxes. If you set up your LLC and you just do distributions, then that's the easy way to set up the LLC. But if you set it up the way that some accountants might tell you to set up, it can be more paperwork. Like they may say, hey, you know what? Set up an LLC, pay yourself as a W-2 employee. So now you're paying payroll tax, and now you're paying all sorts of taxes that you really don't need to, because if you work with a great accountant, they're going to tell you that an LLC is just a pass-through for accounting purposes and asset protection purposes for your business. A pass-through means that basically this hat is blocking me from taxes and liabilities. So it's just a layer of protection. It's a legal maneuver that attorneys came up with. It's actually a defense for taxes and for liability. So you hear about people going bankrupt all the time, and they're like, how'd you go bankrupt and you got the business still? Well, they bankrupted that LLC. Like when Donald Trump went bankrupt, he didn't bankrupt Donald Trump, he bankrupted that LLC that held that asset, because then he could constrict the creditors and tie them down and say, hey, this LLC is no longer with us. And a personal bankruptcy may affect your personal credit, but a business bankruptcy doesn't affect anything except for that LLC. Let me give you an example. Let's say you get sued for $2 million against your LLC, and it's not in your personal name. All you have to do is bankrupt that LLC, and you don't owe anybody nothing. Obviously, you need to talk with attorneys, make sure it's set up the right way, but it is a way that a lot of guys are smart for creating this, because lawyers will come after you and try to take your assets if they know you have them. So how do you pay yourself from an LLC? It's really simple. You take a distribution. You don't even have to really set it up like anything formal. You can literally just take a distribution from your bank account, which you're going to set up with your LLC, and transfer some money to your personal bank account. That's as simple as it goes. Or if you're old school, you can set up a bank account, go order paper checks, write a check from your LLC to your personal name, go to the bank, cash the check, do whatever you want. But the easiest way is just make a distribution online from one entity to the other. Make sure you keep good books, make sure you have your accountant look at everything. If you don't got an accountant, please do not be your own accountant. You think you're saving money, but what you're really doing is costing yourself money, because you have no idea what you're talking about. My accountant makes me hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I'll tell you why. He understands where the tax laws are going, what just passed, like the CARES Act. The LLCs benefit from those laws and how you are elected when you file for your taxes. Will you be double taxed if you pay yourself as an LLC? The short answer is no. The long answer is yes if you set it up incorrectly, because you could pay payroll tax. You could pay another tax that you don't need to pay. And guess what? U.S. Department of Treasury is not going to call you up and say, hey, Mr. Kearns, you overpaid again, and we're going to give you that money back. That doesn't happen. They're going to accept your money because you presented it incorrectly. So yes, you could overpay. That's why I'm going to suggest that you hire a great accountant. If you want the name of my accountant, I'm happy to share, but he is expensive, but he's well worth every dollar that you spend with him. Don't think of it as a cost, even if you're starting it out. Think of it as a benefit, because all the mistakes I made from being cheap on accountants in the beginning cost me thousands of dollars. In fact, that's why I was audited in 2008, because I had the wrong accountant. Long story longer, do not do anything in your personal name. Always have an LLC, and make sure that you absolutely subscribe to my channel in that order. Or we can reverse it. Make sure that you have an LLC. The LLC is going to protect you from liabilities and protect you from paying too much in taxes, and it's super easy to do. I'm gonna recommend using a site like Swift. You can set up Delaware LLCs. One thing I should probably get into a little bit of detail, sorry, I always save the best for last, and sometimes I forget to talk about it. You wanna make sure you're using a Wyoming or a Delaware LLC, because they give you anonymity. People cannot find you. Why do you think every New York Stock Exchange company has a Delaware LLC? They have a favorable court system, and they have anonymity. So you want to make sure you get an LLC, but make sure you set it up the right way. Hire an attorney to do it. There's a bunch of attorneys on the internet. Just Google in your state. They'll charge you like $700, $500, or once you get the hang of it, once you pay that price the first time, then you can go to a site like Swift and do it for like $50. Like I go to Swift, I pick the basic combo because I know how to do everything myself. But if I was to go to Swift, might be able to ring that card up to like $1,200. So make sure that you talk to a CPA, an attorney about setting up your LLC, or just watch this video 3 times, you'll probably figure it out. Just to wrap it up, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you share it with your friends, and make sure you set up an LLC before you do any business. I don't care if it's with a friend, a family member, whoever, you're gonna protect your assets by setting up an LLC and save your taxes by setting up an LLC. So why wouldn't you do it? Honestly, it's super easy. It's just a complicated piece of paper, but really you'll just get the hang of it. The whole purpose of an LLC is like to divert attention, right? Do not call your LLC Troy Kearns LLC, okay? Unless you're trying to bring the liability my way. So whatever you're doing, make sure you get an LLC, make sure you consult your CPA, make sure you consult your attorney, and make sure you subscribe for more content.